All right, hello there. Today we're going to be making a very simple app where we're going to use a button, some labels, and maybe even a switch. All right, to kind of experiment with one of our first apps here. So we're going to click on a single view app. I'm just going to name it Simple App. Sorry, I lost my voice, so it might be a little hard to understand me, but here we go, Simple App. Go ahead and create it. All right, so once this loads up here, we're going to go right into our storyboard and start inserting some things from our library. All right, so from here, we're going to go into library up in the top right-hand corner. And I'm going to pull over, pull over a label. And I'll pull over a button for now. For the label, let's go ahead and write something in there. Say testing. Just going to rename my button. Once again, if you want to go and modify your attributes of your label, click on this here. All right, and you can go ahead and change the color of your font. You can add background color to it and increase the size and font right here. If you want to increase the font, click on this T, and I always click custom. All right, kind of opens up the library for many more fonts. So I'm going to have this here. Center my text too, just to make it look a little nicer. Same thing goes for your button. If you want to increase the font of your button, also the color, I'm just going to throw a background color in here so it's a little easier to see. All right. Now I'm going to close this panel. Once again, this shows me the order of where my label and button is. So if I'm overlapping things, I can drag and adjust it here. Once again, it's not going to matter for this app, but once we get more things on our screen, it's going to be a big deal. So I'm going to open up this assistant editor. And as long as I am clicked on my storyboard, my view controller will show up here. All right. If I click on view controller, you can see that I get two things of code. All right. So if this ever happens, just make sure your storyboard's open, and then your view controller code will be showing up on this side. I'm going to go ahead and decrease my font here. Give me 1 second. All right. So to connect our stuff, all right, I need to connect my label. I'm going to hold and drag it over above the view controller. Now, if you keep this code in here, all right, your view did load, and you drag it above, it's going to automatically connect it as an outlet. You can still change it, but it's going to connect it as an outlet. This is going to be test label. Remember, I can have no spaces in my name, and I use my camel casing, so lowercase t, uppercase L. Now, same thing goes for my button. If I connect my button down here, it's going to automatically go to an action, all right, which I want. I'm just going to write hello button. I always put label or button or slider or whatever it might be, segment control, in the name of my object. All right, so if I want to change the text in my test label, remember I named my test label right here. This is the name of my action. So if I want to call the label, I need to use its name, test label. I'm going to change the text within my test label, and that is going to equal hello world. Let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. So when I go to press this button now, we got our simulator all loaded up. Hello world appears when I click that button in that label. All right, now let's go ahead and throw in a switch. So we have our switch. I'm going to go ahead and add a label just to label my on-off switch. It's not going to be connected as an outlet at all. It's just going to be text. So since the switch is kind of backwards on this, it's actually an off-on switch because it's on currently. So there's that. Go ahead and connect my switch down here. Once again, I need to make sure they're between these two squigglies, not in my action. All right, not outside the squiggly. We'll go on, off, switch. And I also need to make this an outlet because I'm going to call this button. It's going to be in control of something. Not only is it going to be doing something, but you have to also name it. So I'm just going to name it switch 1. All right. So now with this on-off switch, I have to, even though it's the action of the switch, we still need to tell it what switch to act upon. All right, because if I'm going to talk about multiple switches within this action, they all have to have different names. So if I go switch 1 dot, actually let's make this an if. I'm going to go if switch 1 dot is on squiggly. Now I hit enter and you can see this other squiggly adds itself automatically. My self dot view dot background color is going to equal UI color dot white. All right. Now I'm going to take my arrow keys and just kind of go and get out of here. I'm going to hit enter and write else squiggly. All right. Else myself dot view dot background color it's going to equal UI color. We'll do blue. That's fine. So what I'm saying here is if my switch that I named up here is on, if it's on, the background color is going to change to white. If it's off, aka else, all right, because the switch can only be on or off, the background's going to be blue. Let's run it and see what happens. All right, so we've loaded up, hit hello, hello world shows up, on off, switch works as well. All right, so if we wanted to make this hello world flash on and flash off, just like we can right here with our switch, we're using a button. We also have to write an if or else. So we did this the other day. Let me redo this now. So if we're going to go if test label dot text is, that's what this equal means right here. All right. If text label dot test label dot text equals is hello world. I'm going to write a squiggly in here. We're going to say test label dot text will then equal nothing. Okay, so we said if it already says hello world, it's going to equal nothing. Otherwise, else, it's going to equal that hello world. So test label dot text is going to equal. Now to make sure that these are both the same. All right, so either copy and paste it in or just really be careful that they're the same. So now when we run this, that hello that hello world should flash on and flash off. All right, so our switch works, hello world, on, off, on, off. So there you go. You could really put anything in here. You could put testing again. You could put, yeah, whatever you want. So there you go. There's our simple app. I'll continue to add to this app as we kind of get going along. Otherwise, congrats. You made your first app. All right. See you guys.